Well, hello, hello, hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic day out there today. Okay, Denise Merriweather is here with you. It is Monday, and y'all know what happened on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm live at 5 a. I'm live at 5 a. I'm live at 5 a. I'm live at 5. Come on inside of the StreamYard room. Let's go ahead and have this conversation. You are never going to feel like it. Put that in the chat. I'm never going to feel like it. I'm never going to feel like it. I'm never going to feel like it. And I think the sooner you kind of get this and wrap your loving arms around this, the better off you're going to be. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. Hey, Sissy, I see you already inside of the StreamYard room. Yes. And I see the red dress. Now, I've been wondering, can we change the color of this girl right here? But anyway, you didn't hear that from me. So listen, look, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Denise Merriweather. I am the founder and CEO of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It's the #1 training environment for women in the world looking to leverage their knowledge, ignite their passion, and build a highly profitable business. You do this by building your courage, confidence, and competence so you can accept, believe, and commit to what it is that God has called you to do. Okay, put it in the chat. I'm never going to feel like it. I'm never going to feel like it. So as I was laying in bed this morning, telling myself that I needed to get up and start working on finalizing my taxes, right? Because it's tax season and I got things to do, and I'm sure you do too. Thank you, Shawnee, for sharing. Okay, yes. So definitely share this video. Let me know that you share. I've been giving away gifts every Friday for people who share. So put that inside the chat. Put that you share when you have shared. And remember, you got to share it from the Facebook business page with me with the pink jackets, Denise Merriweather. Hey, Tim, how are you? So listen, I'm having this conversation today about never feeling like it, right? And I see that you got it and I got it, and I'm ready to have this conversation with you guys. So look, as I was laying in bed this morning, telling myself that I needed to get up to start working on my taxes. I needed to get up and start organizing myself, getting myself ready for my flight tomorrow, getting myself ready for the things that I have planned that I want to do before I leave town and go back home. And I just continued to lay there. And then I found myself looking at a TED Talk with Mel Robbins. Y'all put this in the chat. Mel Robbins, if you ever heard of her or maybe not have heard of her, she is actually the author of the 5-Second Rule. Now, that was one of my favorite books like a couple of years ago. And I needed to go back and take a look at a couple of TED Talks I've been wanting to see, along with Shantae Lowe, which is an Olympian. So I was looking at some TED Talks, and she was having this conversation about being fine and being okay with the way life is going, right? And we say these things because we know that in order for us to change our lives, it's going to require us doing something different. And normally we're always waiting to feel like it, to feel better, to feel like these are the steps that we actually want to take, to feel motivated, to feel excited about going for the walk after work, or getting up the extra 30 minutes so you can study, or spend time with God or pray, or whatever these things, these promises that you keep making to yourself. But now when you say them with your mouth, you're waiting for your feelings to catch up with your words. And what I'm telling you is you ain't going to never feel like it, right? Remember, our brain is designed to do things that's comfortable to us or what it is accustomed to. You know how sometimes, and I give this example a lot, and she talked about this, how you can arrive to places and don't remember how you got there because autopilot, right? Your brain has some is set up in a way that you can live on autopilot and be fine and get to where you need to go and not hurt yourself. Did you get that? But I don't want you to live on autopilot. Say, get off of autopilot. Put that in the chat. I need to get off of autopilot. Because the more you stay in this system or this way of being, that you're allowing your brain to control your body and you're not using your higher faculties that God has blessed you with to do something different, you ain't never going to feel like doing nothing better. Do you get that? You're going to remain in that comfort zone and you're going to remain doing the things that you've always done. But I want to give you some pointers. That's right, Tamu. Get off of autopilot. LaShawn, I see you in the game. Get off of autopilot because it's not serving you. If anything, it's holding you back. And along with this conversation that you have in your head and this body sensation that you're waiting to feel like doing something. So let me go ahead and give you a couple of points that I want to give you today. You know, I'm getting all up in your feelings and in your business and all that stuff. Well, the first thing I want you to get is feelings have nothing to do with results. Put that in the chat. Number one, feelings have nothing to do with results. Now, I've been talking to this. Hey, Tiffany, the new Tiffany inside the community. How are you? I hope you are doing well. Always nice to see you here. So listen. these feelings have nothing to do with the results that you want to see in your life. And the quicker you get that, the quicker and more successful you're going to be, right? Because your feelings, you're never going to feel like it, and your feelings have nothing to do with the results that you want. So I think I've been telling you guys the difference between the world of performance versus living in a world of reasons and conversations and concepts and precepts. If you actually want to see results in your life, it's going to require you to take action, right? So if you are concerned about your feelings and feeling like it and feeling good and wanting to, that you're not going to take the actions until you feel good or until you want to do it, when do you think you're actually going to do it? You probably not. Nobody ever feels good about getting up an extra 30 minutes before then they have to. Nobody ever feels like going for a walk after they done worked a long day and dealt with all the emotional and physical strains and stresses at work. But if you are connected to the results that you want to see in your life, you get that there's no way to drop the weight without changing the habits, whether it's walking, whether it's drinking more water, whether it's eating clean, whether it's tracking whatever it is that you eat. Because remember, we measure what matters. Put that in the chat. We measure what matters. That's not just your money. That's not just your time, but it's your effort too. Whatever it is that you care about, you're going to measure and you're going to see how it's going. Because again, the measurements is in the results. If you're not measuring, if you're not tracking, then you don't want no results in your life, because whatever results you're seeing right now, you're getting them by accident. You couldn't repeat them if you needed to, because you don't know how you got there. So if you're not tracking what it is that you're doing, there's no way for you to repeat it. So feelings have nothing to do with your results. It has nothing to do with, I think I had to give an example a couple of months ago that you could still drive a car, win a race, and be sad, upset, broken down, or whatever it is emotionally. But if you put your pedal to the metal, if you drive the car as fast as you need to drive, if you're in the race, you're going to win regardless of how you feel. But that's the same thing about the things that you want to see in your life. Regardless of how you feel, you know that if you take this action, it's going to give you the results. It doesn't matter if you feel like it. It doesn't matter if you're happy. It doesn't matter if you're lonely or no one is supporting you, all these other conversations that we have about not going after the things that we want. Oh, Tamara, we got to follow up on the conversation we started a couple of weeks ago. You know what conversation I'm talking about? It just dawned on me that we was talking a little bit during the live, and I said something to you about the house that you wanted to get. We ain't talked about that and what game you're trying to play, but I just want to say it doesn't have anything to do with how you feel, okay? So number two, put this in the chat. Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. So while it does require you to have ideas and to think of things, do you get our feelings and our concerns stop us from taking the actions that we normally want to take? So listen, what do I mean by that? Thoughts become things. Well, everything that you see around you, or maybe even for some of you who may be driving right now or laying on the sofa or listening on the phone, like everything that you have in your atmosphere was first a thought, an idea, something that someone came up with or thought would be a great idea. And then eventually they started sharing it with other people that can help produce or help make it happen, right? But they took action. And what Mel Robbins was talking about in her video earlier today, she was saying how we think of these things, we have amazing ideas that come up and bubble up in us while we're listening to things, while we're driving down the road, while we're in conversation with someone else, maybe even while you're listening to me. Ideas come up in your head of actions that you need to take. But if you don't take the actions quick, like she said, within the first 5 seconds, then you're going to talk yourself out of it. So what I want you to get that while you're thinking of these things that's coming up in your head, I want you to get into the habit of immediately writing them down on a piece of paper, putting them in a recorder, a system, but taking some type of action before your mind tells you not to do it, to keep you safe. That's a big risk. I wouldn't do that if I was you. There's so many people that's already doing it. Like whatever the conversation is, I don't know, put it in the chat. What's your conversation that comes up as soon as you have a great idea? You tell yourself what? I don't know enough to make that happen. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough knowledge. I need help. I don't have anyone that's supporting me. Like whatever that is, drop that inside the chat. But I want you to get that's just you talking yourself out of taking the action, because that first impulse or that first thing that's calling you or speaking to you is the thing that you need to take action on. Don't get into whether or not it's going to succeed, if it's going to fail, if I'm going to be successful. Because remember, failure is only where? Failure is only in language. Put that in the chat. Failure is only in language. It's not a real thing. It's something that human beings created in conversation. And we say stuff like, I failed at something, when in actuality, your method just didn't work. and you need to try another method. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that you failed anything. It just means what you tried didn't work and you need to try something else. But then sometimes it's not even what you tried. It may be you just haven't done it long enough and you need to keep doing it and you need to keep working it, because once you continue to work it, it's going to grow. It's going to manifest. But we always want this instant popcorn success, and it doesn't come with everything. I think my minister was talking about, do you want the grape juice blessing or do you want the wine blessing? Because it requires more time for the wine to come than the fruit juice. Because you could press the grapes and you can get the fruit juice right away. But if you want the wine, it got to ferment, it got to sit, it got to, be closed for a certain amount of time and lack of air and all this other stuff. It got to transition into different forms. But that ain't going to happen overnight. It's going to take effort. Hey, there you go, LaShawn. It's going to take effort and it's going to take time. And sometimes we just don't want to take and give time and effort to what it is that we want to see. But failure is just in language, so it's not even a real thing. So I want you to write or record your ideas down as soon as possible. And the last thing that I want you to do, which is in alignment with this, is that I want you to move quickly. Put it in the chat, move quickly. Put it in the chat, move quickly. So as soon as you think of this thought, you write it down, you speak it into a recorder, you have it someplace where you won't forget. Because sometimes I have amazing ideas in the middle of the night. But because it's in the middle of the night, I don't be wanting to get up. And I may pray sometimes, Father, please help me remember this idea when I get up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I forget. So if maybe you should keep a pad by the bed. I don't know what it is for me, but when I get in the shower, I have amazing ideas. I have a lot of things that come to me. But when these ideas come and it's something that you know that you want to execute, I need you to move quickly, because the quicker you get into action, the quicker you'll stick with whatever that idea is. But if you give yourself time to overthink or to come up with all the reasons why it won't work, you're not going to take the necessary actions. Why? Because you're going to get caught up in your feelings. And then you're going to get caught up with your negative conversations that you have. But I want you to get that your feelings have nothing to do with results, that thoughts actually become things. So these thoughts are very powerful. They could be the thing between you being in the situation that you're in now and versus having the success that you want in your life. But you keep passing up on taking the action because you start talking yourself out of why it don't work and why you just one person and how can you make this happen when none of this stuff or no one has ever told you you had to do anything in this world by yourself. Put it in the chat. I do not have to do this alone. Put it in the chat. I do not have to do this alone. And you don't. And you don't. And you don't. I'm telling you, you don't. But you definitely need to not get caught up in your feelings, because feelings don't have nothing to do with the results you want. Thoughts do actually become things, because everything that we use right now in front of us came from a thought first. So they are very powerful. And number 3, you need to move quickly and take some actions right away. As soon as you think of something, as soon as you write it down, you need to be in communication with someone or thinking of ways how to get this into action. I was talking to a client this weekend, and we were talking and thinking about things and actions that she needed to take. And I could tell when I asked her, I said, okay, so what's the date for when we're going to actually do this event or make it happen? And when I said, okay, sometime like next month, like I'm going to give you the rest of this month to plan it out, to get your emails ready, to send out the communication. But this is happening within the next 4 weeks. Like I didn't come up with this idea for you to take all day to take action. Like, no. We're going to take action on this within the next 4 weeks. So I want you to get whatever it is that you want to see, the things that you want to do. I want you to get that you are not going to feel like it. Put it in the chat. I'm not going to feel like it. Because remember, it's something that's stretching you. It's something that's uncomfortable to you. It's something that's outside of the normal things that you have been doing. So don't get caught up in feeling like it, because you're not. And as soon as you get to you're not going to feel like doing it, hopefully the quicker you get into getting into action and know that conversation that you have in your head that's telling you that it's not going to work and it's not going to be successful and you got 5 more minutes, I want you to get, you don't have 5 more minutes. Get up as soon as it comes and get into action as soon as you can. Always looking forward to serving you. Look, I don't know what conversations you had this weekend, but get ready this week, because we're living in the world of results. And share this video from the Deneen Merriweather business page so I can see that you shared it, so I can put you in the register to win. Each and every Friday, I've been giving away $25 for those of you who are sharing videos. So go share and then come back and say that you shared. Always looking forward to serving you. I'll see you here Wednesday, Friday, 5 o'clock, Mondays, 5 o'clock. And make sure you share and tell your friends to come meet you here, because a community that grow together, stay together. Hey, I'm live at 5. Hey, I'm live at 5.